Hello everyone and welcome back to another Blender Basics video. And you might be first off asking why I'm starting with a blank one, blank, just default Blender thing. Because first of all, there's a lot of things I missed in the last tutorial, and secondly, the last tutorial is not making an actual product. I was just explaining some things that Blender actually has and just telling you about some features that we are going to sort of use and sort of explain throughout the series. And okay, so here you can see that I'm just starting off, and there's actually also another more stupid reason that I'm starting off as a new one. It's because I didn't save it, and it's also not an autosave because I normally turn autosave off because it's sort of annoying. And also, one of my friends also mentioned that the background is different. It's because that I just when you download the Blender, you would have multiple kind of choices, the default, etc. I chose the Maya one because I've been using Maya before, and I really just like the color of it. And this is what I have, and I don't know how to change it. So if any of you know, just put in the comments. And actually, you might say, if I don't even know how to do that, why am I supposed to be teaching you guys? It's because that this is the newer version and you weren't able to change it in the previous versions, for example, Blender 2.8. So yeah, you weren't able to, or at least I don't know, you could. And now I don't know how to turn it off. Okay, and let's get started. So we're starting off with a cube. We so the finished product, you might be asking what we're going to end up with. Well, first of all, I'm making a little animation. So if you're more interested in modeling, you only have to watch like the first 4 or 5 videos because I'll be only covering modeling in those, and then the rest will be just animating. And if you want to know even more, you might want to check out some of my later videos, like videos that haven't even came out when I recorded this. And this is only the second one, so I don't know how long modeling will stretch out, but yeah, it will stretch for a bit of a time. And so, let's get started. Let's first out just delete this default cube. As you know, if you didn't watch the previous tutorials on what everything was about, just go over, have a look, okay? And don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's begin just by deleting this. And then press Shift A to import a new item. I think let's just go with maybe a plane because that's sort of a pretty good concept for something that most of us would want to do, at least. And let's get started. So let's get started with a UV sphere and then rotate it because this is not like that should be the top. That's just not how planes will line up normally. Or if yeah, let's just remove that and press R to rotate. And again, if you don't know any of this hotkeys and things, just go to my previous tutorial and watch all that. Oh, and then X to rotate it. And over here, I didn't explain this in the last tutorial. If you want to change, like, if you want to see exactly how many rotate, how much it rotates, or how much it moves, go over here. There's this thing in the bottom left corner. Not really a corner. Just come over here, click this little thing, and then just change the number. I'm going to say 90, and let's begin with a sphere. Okay, and today I won't actually be covering any of the things, for example, shading and all that. I'll cover all of those in a way later tutorial. So if you want to see those, just wait until it comes out. I'll put like I'll put out other animations. I won't just put out tutorials on this channel. And if you want to see the behind the scenes of some of my animations, go check out my Patreon, which I'll put a link in the description below, which I also just set up a few days ago. And press E to extrude, and yeah. I don't remember if I said this in the previous tutorial, but E is extrude. Okay, and let's just go with a solid number. Let's go maybe 4. Yeah, 4. And back here, select everything. And you're wondering why didn't I use E, because if you extruded it and just Control Z back, E, it'll just turn out was this middle line, which I don't actually want. And so Control C, G, and it should be around 4. Let's just create this little plane. And okay, so over here, that's sort of what we're going to go with, and I'm going to find some muffins images, and I'll be back with some muffins images. 3 hours later. Okay, and welcome back. I've just found an image, not neat blueprint. I just googled simple planes blueprints, and it's like the 4th image I think that came up. And then to import an image, you can come over here, go to, I just like using this, and then press, and then coming out of edit mode, I'm just gonna disable that because it's annoying, and press shift A as normal, coming to images, and then coming to reference, and then you can find one. I just saved that on my desktop, and apparently it's not there. Okay, and just sorry, just then I just placed the image in the wrong place and I couldn't find it, and just found it. It was actually just in downloads. I thought I saved it to the desktop, but no. And then over here, as you can see, just go to references and then select your image, desktop. Yay, here it is. And then you want to scale it. Nope, that's too big. To the right size. As you can see, I didn't do that. And then you can rotate it if you want. Like, I'm gonna rotate it because currently it's not in the best conditions, and let me just go into invisible mode, or whatever you want to call it. That's what I like to call it. It's weird, I know. And let me just, Jesus Christ, use that to see closer. Well, if you want to change where you scale things or rotate things by, you would this as well. You can say box centers, 3D cursor, as I just did, because 3D cursor is always, or not always, just most of the times in the center. You can move it by clicking over here, and you can move it. And if you want to move it back, just press S, and then you can move it to all these kind of places, but normally you would just want to go to world origins, and then just click back in case you accidentally click on it. There's even other options like individual origins. For example, you have 2 objects, you want to scale them individually and not just by the entire center, and also by medium point, which is just the default both centers, and an active element, which is like the median of the element that you selected. For example, you selected this and this, like this will be the active one. Oops, sorry. This and this or sphere is, I don't know what you're going to call that. Just this is not the active one, and if you go to active medians, you scale it, it's by this, which you can't actually tell right now, but if I select this first, nope, sphere first, and then select this image first, you would see that it scales by this image, and I now actually just want to select it by world origin, and it has to scale. Oops, now it's both of them. Oops, and now it's none of them. And then scale options. Just move it to the right place. This is hard. And if you want to find the image, I'll put a link in the description too, so you can find it. So yes, and if you're asking, I didn't actually make this image myself. I found it on Pinterest. Okay, pan over. Okay, so we're starting off from here, as you can see very simply. And also, as you can see, I didn't scale this to the right size because I couldn't find my image. And you will mostly want it over here, just a rough scale. You don't need it to be exact. Add to be there, and then yeah, and that should be it. Actually, yeah, no, actually no. Actually, you would want this to be here, and then to, as you can see, I'm working on the top first. You can also work on the side first or the front first, but I just like that. And if you don't really agree, it's your opinion. Nothing against it. It's just my opinion. So if you have anything against it, just it's your problem, not mine. And also, I shouldn't have gone with sphere. So let's just go ahead, delete that. Shift A. Now you actually want a cube, and you can see it fits perfectly now because yeah. So drag it over, whoop, and drag this over, whoop. Yep, and over here you can just, oops, sorry, extrude this. Nope, not. E is right next to R, and I normally this is a common problem even for some of other people out there. This might also be a pretty common problem among most of you guys. Some of you guys actually, shouldn't say most. And over here, this is, oops, just change it back. Remember that, just change it back. And over here, you actually want to remember what you scale it by. So I'm scaling it by Z, and look, you'll want to memorize this number, which is or normally you would just want to change it 0.75. That's my number here. And then you also want to apply it for, Jesus, you also want to apply it for X. But here, if you're doing the Y-axis, it's Y, but 0.75, and you got it. It won't be visually different, but if you come over to this side, see, it's also shrink down this side, so it's easy. And as you can see, this is actually a bit beveled. I'll explain how to bevel things in just a while. Okay, so extrude. Okay, see. And then normally when you come here, you normally just don't want to get it too sharp like a triangle. You normally want a bit. So over here it's currently 0.15. If you're asking me, hey, it's 0.16. Well, I'm just, for this video's sake, make it easier for you, and make it 0.15. And you would say, hey, I can read numbers, okay? And you're like, and I'll be like, okay, I didn't know that. I didn't know you could read numbers. Nah, that, if you're wondering, that's not what I actually meant. Just sarcasm if you guys don't know. Because I know a lot of friends who actually don't know English. And one of them might be currently watching the video, not calling out names, but I'll put a link in the description, so I might be calling out names, okay? Just kidding, I won't be putting much criticism on them. Just just saying that I know people who don't speak English, and for the ones who don't actually speak English as a native language, just saying as if you don't know. Okay, just to clear things up, and I'm not being racist. Okay, let's just continue. I'm not going to sit here in silence. Okay, and you also want to extrude this part out. Yeet. And if you're wondering what's my favorite word, it's yeet. And this would also at the end be able to be printed out, which I currently have a 3D printer at home, so I will print it out for you guys and post a time lapse. So watch out for it, and if you actually want to see it, I won't be posting it on my YouTube channel. I will be posting it on my Patreon. So if you want to see it, go to my patrons. Not forcing you to. If you don't want to follow my patrons, just don't really need to see the video. Not too important, just a little fun fact for you guys. Saying nothing against it, so yeah, just saying. And what you want to do right here, today we're actually just going to model the body. Okay, from here you'll want to come to this view, which, oops, wrong view, this front view over here, and then you want to input the image again. Actually, maybe not, just, oops, sorry, I forgot, tap out of it, that seems scary. And also, doesn't, nope, not tap that, okay, and select the cube over there because I have this on and it really just need it. You'll also want to get the modifiers in. I recommend you to use a modifier. So, just for learning experience and for you, just this is a loop cut. It cuts in the middle of two things, and this is what we might be using very commonly throughout this tutorial, throughout the series, and so this is a this is not a modifier, okay? This is not a modifier. This is just a single tool that I'll be using a lot. And by a lot, I mean it a lot. X, delete faces, and then tab, and then modifiers. Now explain another tutorial, mirroring, and if you don't know, just, yeah, mirroring. Okay, and from here you can shift D to duplicate. I didn't explain that in my last video, and I just realized it. Go for the 3D cursor, or Z, and rotate it. Yep. Don't squish it. Don't do it like that, or you'll squish it. Make it pretty exact. I'll put 90, as you would expect, and rotate it by Y to. I want to get that thing on the very top. You won't be able to see it, but I'm currently pointing at it with my fingers. Yeah. Just this thing over here, which is the front or back view, if you want to know. And so, let's get everything, not everything, just some things set up. Oh, and this is actually the top view. I just realized it. Sorry. So, rotate it. Y. Move it. Simple enough, right? If it's not simple, don't know what to say about it. And press, just shift D, this. Oops, wrong thing. Control C, shift D, this. Always select this thing I don't want it to select. Oh god. Artificial intelligence will soon take over the world, guys. Kidding. If you're wondering. I don't want artificial intelligence to take over the world anytime soon. So, not putting a curse upon humanity, but yeah. They're saying artificial intelligence is bad. A bit of a criticism for the people who made Blender. If you're complaining about Blender, which I'm actually not, because I like Blender a lot and I'm not criticizing about it anytime soon. So come over here, align it, and if you still can't see what I'm about to do, I'll show you in a few seconds when I get this thing lined up. Okay, GZ, woodoo, woodoo, woodoo. Oh my gosh, this is taking forever. And then select this cube. Finally, it selected something I wanted to select. Press tab, select these two. GC. Okay, that's it. If you're wondering, that's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. And that'll be it for today. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye. Not doing that. Bye. I'll put up this background music later. Listen to that. Don't listen to me singing. Just bye.